Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Sunshine Hour, the Healing Corner Health Talk Show, which is the holistic perspective. Last week, I had difficulty getting on, so I know some people were trying to get on, so I apologize for any inconvenience. But tonight, we're going to go ahead and talk about the urinary system, and what does that entail, and how to keep that healthy, keep that system healthy. On the Holistic Perspective show, I talk about different body systems. In the very beginning of our health talk, we talked about the ABCs of health, and just very basic things that we needed to do. And so from that, every week I like to build on to that with talking about the different systems of the body, because when one is out of balance, then it kind of it's like a domino effect, and it affects all the systems. So I just want to share some things tonight on the urinary system, just some helpful tips tonight. If you have questions during the show, about 30 minutes into the show, you can even call in. My number is 240-695-6677. And know this, that no question is ever, there's no dumb question, because there's a lot of people that want to ask the same question. And when you ask questions, I'm able to expand, some thoughts and ideas and things to help you. So we're all in this together. We're on a journey. We want to be healthy. We want to live a full life, with health and wealth. The Bible says that I wish above all that you would prosper and be in good health. So we need to be in good health, not only physically, but spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. All of those need to be in balance so that we can experience optimal health. So we're going to go through some things tonight. But as most of you know who watch me on a weekly basis, we always bring an oil to the table. So if you have your oil tonight, I'd like for you to take it out, put some oil in your palm of your hand. We're going to take some deep breaths tonight, just so that we can breathe in and get our minds centered and our hearts centered to hear some great information tonight. I want you to breathe in positivity. Just breathe that oil in. So beautiful. Hold it and breathe out. And as you're breathing out, I want you to let go of all the things that happened today. Everything even happened 5 minutes ago. Just let it all go and become present in this moment right now. Breathe that in. Just breathe. Let your brain just feel that. I mean, it just feels so good. You just breathe that oil in. So refreshing, so wonderful. Breathe out, let going all negativity, let going just all the busyness of today. And I'm going to bring us in with prayer. Father God, we come to you tonight in the mighty, matchless name, Lord Jesus. I just want to give you all the praise and all the glory and all the honor, because you are the great physician. And by your stripes, we are healed. And that's a promise that you've given your children who know you and who belong to you. But you also are a God of principle. And so faith without works is dead. So as we have the faith that you are the great physician, and that you will heal us, that you will show up for us in our dark situation, we know that we got to walk the walk. We got to go do some things in order to see the results that we need to see. So God, I give you praise tonight, and I ask that each person listening tonight would learn something great tonight that could change their life forever, if not for them, for a loved one, or whatever, God. So you have your way tonight. Speak through me, and just show up tonight. And we give you all the praise and the glory and the honor tonight. In Jesus' mighty name, I thank you. So we are talking about the urinary health. And so this is one of the critical but often overlooked key systems of health. It's not the most glamorous system to talk about, but it's one of the channels of elimination. And I always talk about all the channels of elimination must be working to obtain optimal health. So it filters acid waste from metabolism. So when the body's excreting, it's absorbing the nutrients on, it's letting go of the waste. Some of the waste goes to the colon, some goes through the kidneys, through the blood, and all those kind of things. So everything's working together like a symphony when they're all working properly. Okay, and so it eliminates toxins, maintains fluid and mineral balance, helps to regulate blood pressure. See, that's very important. I know that you see when people sometimes have heart issues, circulation issues, oftentimes you would see edema or swelling and all, because all of this works together. These systems work together. Also helps produce vitamin D and red blood cells. The urinary system is the water element in traditional Chinese medicine. It is the foundation of life. It houses the Jing, or life essence, which determines your lifespan. It helps prevent premature aging. It builds the bones and helps maintain a healthy structural system. You see how not only it's just for the urinary system, but you see how the bones, our structural system depends on the urinary system. Our cardiovascular system depends on that. And actually all the systems, they're interdependent. It's very, very important. And this is where the pH and health, the body fluids, blood and lymph must maintain a slightly alkaline state of 7.4 for optimal health. Acid is generated as the body removes electrons from food for energy. And this acid is filtered by the kidneys. So that's why it's so important. We have to have a balanced diet, right? You don't want to eat a lot of acidic food because you're putting a lot of stress on the liver, but you're also putting a lot of stress on the kidneys trying to excrete all these things, all the acids. Water and structural health. The kidneys must have adequate supply of water to filter acid and toxin. And every talk that I talk, it doesn't matter what we talk about. It's so important to get that water in, and you want to get a great water. It doesn't matter if it's alkaline water, it can be spring water, but what is important is that your water is in a bottle that is BPA free. That means that it is a bottle that will not leach toxins into the water. It's very important to see that on your water bottles. I tell that to all my clients. That's just part of what I talk about. I write it out for them. Must have water in a BPA free bottle, because when the water sits out in the heat or outside or in a warehouse or wherever it comes from, it leaches those toxins from the plastic, and those things can cause a lot of other problems. Okay, so you have to drink the right water. It doesn't matter if it's alkaline or if it's filtered, or if it's spring water, whatever it is, as long as it is in a BPA free bottle. That's very important. Okay. And if the acid isn't being properly diluted and filtered, the body uses alkaline minerals, hear this, calcium, magnesium, and potassium, to buffer the acid. So if we're getting too much acid and we're not getting enough water to dilute that, then now the kidneys have no choice. It has to start pulling from the body the minerals to help to balance that, to alkalize it. And so now we're talking about calcium, magnesium, and potassium. Where does that come from? Well, it comes from the structural system, and it can come from potassium for the cardiovascular system, for the heart. So these are some very, very important minerals that we need in our body. And you want to take a picture of this if you with your phone. And remember, calcium, magnesium, and potassium, sodium, potassium work together as well. But these three to buffer acid if we're getting if our body's too acidic. And this depleted mineral stores and weakens the structural system. Yes. So we know that acid burns and it breaks down and can eat away, pull from the structural system. Some warning signs for the urinary system. Swelling or edema anywhere. It could be in the feet, can be in the hands, can be under the, under the eyes. Swollen, damp tongue, frequent back pain, afternoon sluggishness, swelling under the eyes, scanty urination, frequent urination, or burning or painful urination. And in iridology, we look at an acid eye or uric acid diatheses, where there's a lot of white show up in the eye. Let's see if I see that. I got a picture of the eye here. Yes, this is an over acid iris right here. So this is an accumulation. This is not something somebody's born with. This is some accumulation. So this is showing that there is stress on the lymphatic system and the kidneys. And so how do we get rid of acid? And how do we get, when we have inflammation in the body, right? What puts out a fire? We should always first go to more water, making sure that our water intake is sufficient and that it's absorbing. So in the beginning, when you start drinking water, you might go to the bathroom a lot. It might be you drink it and it goes right through, because it's taking time for the cells to actually pull the water in. But if you do it consistently, I'm telling you, for 2 weeks, consistently getting those 2 liters, at least 2 liters of water per day is very important for this body, sometimes more. A lot of times I tell people you can drink half of your body weight in ounces up to 100 ounces, So let's say if a person is 250, right, 250 pounds, you don't want to drink 125 ounces. You're going to drink up to 100 ounces. But if you never drink water or don't drink it a lot, or you sip it here and there, then the goal first 2 weeks is to maintain a steady daily consumption of 2 liters. And that would be 32 ounces of water, or 4 16 ounces would equal 2 liters. Okay, and that's so important that we think about that water intake before we think about drinking anything else. And if we do any caffeinated beverages, you have to drink a little more, because now caffeinated beverages actually dehydrate. So now that you're kind of spinning a wheel, I need more water. So that's very, very important, especially for this system, this urinary system. Water is very important. So this is a uric acid diatheses iris pattern. Again, you see a lot of thickening white around here. This is all the lymphatic system coming around this area here. And this would represent in here how white this is and thick, would represent a tendency not being able to filter the uric acid. So you'd have a tendency to get gout, arthritis, kidney stones, osteoporosis, and those kind of things. And so you have to strengthen that area. And so let's say people have gout. I always recommend a tart cherry juice. A concentrate is very good in helping that. But there's other things that we need to take for a maintenance. Number one, we got to change the diet, what's causing it. And 2, we have to increase the water. But there's some other things you need to do to cleanse and that works like an astringent to help cleanse the kidneys from actually causing any of these stones to build up. Okay, we're going to go through that. So here's some general aids for over acidity. 2 to 3 quarts of water daily. Avoid soda and coffee. Soda is acid. It's just acid. You're just adding it onto the fire. Eat smaller amounts of animal proteins, especially like red meats and things like that. Eating more vegetables and fruits can help to alkalize the body as well. This is black cherry juice, but the tart cherry all work well. Nettle leaf and a Chinese water increasing formula would work as well. And this is edema. You see the feet swelling here. This is where swelling in the tissues can be a serious signs problems like congestive heart failure. Um, so you have to obtain a proper medical diagnosis. You have to know what's going on. Herbal diuretics can be used in place of diuretic drugs, which often deplete the body of potassium. And I don't know if you know um, people who get on that conveyor belt, I call it, because it goes around and around. You get on a diuretic, and then they know that it's depleting the body of potassium, so you have to then end up taking a potassium supplement, right? But if you take a natural diuretic things that it will help to balance that potassium and sodium levels in the body. So many, right? So supply potassium and have other positive benefits. So that's important to understand that. Now, stimulating diuretics provide a slight irritation to the kidneys, which cause them to produce more urine. It's helpful when kidneys function is sluggish and needs a temporary boost. And these are some things that can help with that. Juniper berry. If it's irritation, if the kidneys are inflamed or any part, if there's inflammation, we would not use this. This is if everything's stagnant and we're trying to give the kidneys just a little boost to try to for them to work properly. Juniper berry, buku, uva ursi, and parsley. And I tell people to eat parsley too. It's good because it is a diuretic, and it's very good to do that. And this is a tonifying diuretics help to improve urinary function without irritating the kidneys, right? And they're best for long-term use or when the urinary system is already irritated. So when there's already a problem of overheat, hot, we want to use nettle leaf and the root, dandelion leaf and the root, goldenrod, cleavers, corn silk actually helps to strengthen that bladder as well. Eucommia bark and morinda. That's a noni. Morinda comes from the noni plant. And noni juice is that Tahitian noni juice is a very good overall tonic to help a lot of things, but it will definitely help the urinary system as well. We want to decrease lymphatic congestion. Mix a half a teaspoon of each in a quart of water and sip through the day, which is the liquid kidney formula, which is, we call it kidney drainage. That is through Nature's Sunshine. If you want to know more about these products, you can give me a call at 240-695-6677 so I can explain a little more how they work and what they are. And then you mix this kidney formula and the lymphatic formula together, and you put it in your water and you drink it throughout the day. It has helped many, many people with severe edema in their legs, not only in their feet, in their legs. When people have, when they have blood sugar challenges, that's what I'm going to say, blood sugar challenges, you know what that word is, that causes a lot of issues, not only with kidneys. It's a debilitating situation, right? So it affects all the organs, all the systems, but especially the cardiovascular and the urinary system, right? So it causes a lot of swelling and a lot of issues. And so this formula has helped a lot of people, help to reduce that swelling down and to be able to get those fluids out. You can make a tea with nettle leaf, dandelion, cleavers, and peppermint. You can do that as well. But these two together are very, very powerful when you drink it in the water throughout the day. So UTI, urinary tract infections, urine is sterile, right? People don't understand that, but urine is sterile. There's no bacteria. So infections occur when bacteria migrate up to the urethra into the bladder. So women have more UTIs than men because their urethra is shorter and is closer to the anus. And bladder infections can also be fungal, right? And so um, helping to prevent UTIs, we got to keep the area clean. Cranberry juice has been shown to inhibit bacteria from clinging to the urinary passages, thereby inhibiting infection. And always use unsweetened cranberry juice or an encapsulated cranberry, like the herb, the juice in a powder, in a encapsulated herb product daily to reduce risk of infection. Now, these are some herbs that are helpful to help treat UTIs. Uvauracil, that's a single herb. Berberine or herbs with berberine like golden seal, Oregon grape, barberry, coptis, and there's other ones too, juniper berry and buku. One of the best combinations that I recommend for my clients and people who call me with these issues is a product called Cranberry Buku. Those two. It is a very powerful combination. And it stops some things in a couple of days. When people go through some severe things like a week or more, they get on this, and in 2 days, they feel like it's gone. And but I recommend that you take the entire bottle, you finish it out so the body's cleaning up the urinary system, so that you're getting that bacteria, get it out, cleaning that area up, and then you can go on something for a maintenance like the cranberry by itself. But when you're dealing with some things, I really love that cranberry buccal combination. It's very, very good, very, very effective. So this is urinary tract inflammation, cystitis, inflammation of the bladder, urethritis, inflammation of the urethra, the tube that drains the urine from the bladder. Nephritis is the inflammation of the kidneys. Inflammation can cause burning or a scalding pain while urinating, back pain, and frequent urge to urinate. So we have to sometimes, we ignore a lot of things because we're so used to pain, and we used to, these little things come up. I remember I talked about like the car lights come up, and we ignore we ignore the little lights coming up, and then one day the engine lights coming on, and we still ignore it, and then one day the car stops in the middle of the road, and we wonder what happened. Well, we never paid attention to the lights coming on. Same thing in the body. So these little things, pain in the back, especially the lower part of the back on the two left and the right side, very important to pay attention to that. Just say, if that's a pain there, maybe I need to drink more water. Just try that. Try the water first, right? Increasing your water. And if you're still feeling that back pain, then, hey, maybe I need to try some cranberry. Go try little things first. You don't want to wait till it gets into a bad state, and then you have to run and get all kind of medications, and that starts a whole nother set of issues, right? So it's important to pay attention to your body, especially as we get older. It's very, very important that we pay attention to all these little pains, because they're warning signs. They're letting us know something's going on. Remedies for urinary inflammation: corn silk is very soothing. It also is toning for the bladder. Children can do corn silk if they have tendency to wet the beds and things like that. Corn silk is really good. Marshmallow is very soothing. Cleavers for pain during that time, for like swelling and things like that. Kava kava works kind of like it's a pain relief. Kava kava, it's very relaxing, but it will help to relax that area as well. Whoops. Sorry, I got away from there. Pipsissewa and schizandra are help easing that urgency. You feel like you have to go and can't go. These are some things that are in some combinations that I recommend as well. So, um, your children also may have trouble controlling urination because the sphincter muscle is not fully developed. And listen to this: stress, fear, and blood sugar imbalances may also cause this problem in children and adults. So, when we're getting issues like this, then we have to do a process of elimination. We need to see what's going on. And I always, first, I like to look at the emotional, the thought and emotion of a person, what's happening, and then we go from there. Because that is the root. Because our issues in life are what? Tied to our tissues. Feelings buried alive never die. They're going to show up later on in the form of what? Disease. Very important. For remedies for nighttime urination, avoid sugary foods near bedtime. After a certain time, cut it off. Cut that stuff off. Eat a small amount of protein food with fat before bed, like nut butter. If you eat cheese, make sure it's on the blood type for you, because that can cause some problems. If you want to make sure you're eating the right one. Chinese fire increasing formula. Magnesium, astragalus, schizandra, this is a blend, licorice root, and asparagus root. Licorice root is very good to help even with children. It comes in a liquid and you can pour in a little water and it tastes a little sweet. Then we want to talk about kidney stones. Cased by precipitation of minerals in the urine, particularly calcium. Some people are genetically prone to them and can be extremely painful to pass. We want to prevent kidney stones. I've known some people that have had it, young people who have had it. And I'm going to tell you something on that thought and emotion behind this. And every time I know about a case, I know that there is severe anger, resentment, and causes like things to turn to stone. Just a lot of anger, a lot of things like that. So when you start feeling these things, we have to dig deep down into our emotions and have an understanding. I tell people every day that I see, we have to understand that 5 generations, 62 people contribute to who we are on the spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical level, right? So when we're in our mother's womb, even what she's going through at that time. So if she has anger issues, if she has resentment issues, those frequencies are passed to us. And we go in life and we don't know why we feel some things. We don't understand why are we feeling this. And then so we come in the world with someone else's, with other people's baggage that have been passed to us. And as we go along in life, we start adding to it, because that's kind of what we're attracting now, because that's the frequency that we're operating from. But this is why the Bible talks about generational curses and blessings and all these things. Somewhere in that arena, somewhere there, somebody has to break that. Somebody has to change that. And so today, whoever's listening today, I'm telling you, if you're dealing with issues in the body, whatever they are, when we start looking at those emotions and you start freeing yourself, freeing up your emotions from past things, clearing yourself, right? Clearing all the past things that have been passed to you. You can start a whole new generation, and break that curse and start changing things for the better, so that the next generation gets healthier like that. It's a lot of work. This body that we have, it's not just about the physical, because everything that we do starts in the spirit world. Everything that you see around you started in the spirit first, because it was a thought, and then it became and manifested into something, right? So that's where the thought and emotion is very, very important. What we think, and the Bible says, so a man thinketh, so is he, right? So you got to think of yourself fearfully, wonderfully made. God made you for a purpose. You're not here on planet Earth for no reason. You're not here taking up space and you're just living a mundane life. That's not what God has for you. God has you on this earth in this time, in this dispensation, in this space of time for a reason. And in order to fulfill the purpose that He's brought you here for, you have to get this body. You have to start thinking right. So here's how it all works, like a circle, right? Your thought and emotion, thinking great thoughts, thinking positive, getting rid of negativity, right? But sometimes we can't do that if we're not eating right, right? So we have to think right, eat right, work right, just have positive energy around us. Working out, exercising, taking a walk. Today I jumped on my bike. I wasn't able to do it for a couple of weeks, but I enjoyed myself today. I'm back on it now. I'm back on my bike, ready to go. I love moving. I like seeing, scenery. I don't like being on a stationary in a gym. I go to the gym, but when I go to the gym, I like swimming and things like that, but I like to be moving. So do things to enjoy life. It's short. We're not here forever. But while we're here, let's do the very best that we can to enhance what God has for us, to receive and to live the blessed life that He promised us, right? And we're not here just for ourselves. We're here to help others as well. So you hearing this information, this might not have nothing to do with you. You might be so healthy, super healthy, and I'm so happy for you. But you might know 5 people that have some problems with kidney issues because, you know why I know that? Because there's clinics, you know what I'm talking about, right, on every corner. And there's young people. It's a sad situation. Lined up that have to be a slave to that machine 3 days a week, 3 times a week. That's what they're told. And if they don't do anything different, change the way they diet, the way they eat, change the way they're living, change their thought process, see themselves healed, whole, and delivered again, they're going to be on that until the kidneys just can't take it anymore. They're going to be doing that. And then one day the kidneys just can't do it anymore. And that's a sad way to go. As I said, that is not, let me tell you something, that's not what God's promises to us. But we can't blame God for that because everything, He's a God of principle. And He says faith without works is dead. So we got to be doing the right thing. I'm guilty. Let me tell you, I'm on my path. Again, I fall off and I get right back on because sometimes our emotions can take hold and take over us. So I'm not someone who has arrived. I have information, I'm knowledgeable, and I'm responsible for the knowledge that God has given me, allowed me to have. I'm responsible for that. And once you hear this tonight, you are responsible because you know now that you can do something different, right? And so it's my prayer that you all would start with just the simple things, just drinking more water. That's a great start. I'm telling you, if you do 2 weeks and start drinking 2 liters a day for 2 weeks, I wish I could get a phone call and see how you feel. I would love to hear from you that, hey, that water, I felt better. My headache's gone. My urine is better. It's more clear. Those kind of, I don't see bubbles, all that kind of stuff. That would be some great thing, just what water can do. Okay. So you want to avoid these kind of foods when to prevent kidney stones, right? Peanuts, chocolate, unless it's the cacao, it's a 90% cacao. It's a little different. And some teas. Now with this, I go according to the blood type, right? So some blood types are okay with coffee and some are not. Nobody's good with carbonated beverages. Nobody's good with soda at all. That's acid. We know that. We need to take, especially as we're getting older, we need to take magnesium. We need magnesium for the brain health. You understand? And much less everything else, our joints and all of that. Vitamin B6, right? Don't take calcium supplements, especially calcium carbonate. So you want to do, I recommend a blend again that's called Skeletal Strength. And people absolutely tell me great things when they take that. That Skeletal Strength, it's a blend. It has magnesium in it, has all a blend of the minerals that you need for the bones to strengthen it. As we go into, women are going into menopause, pre-menopause, very, very important to do, to take something for the skeletal system. Okay, especially if things are going not right with the urinary system, it will deplete from that area even more. So this is a remedy for passing stones here. If you would like to take a picture of this, you can take this. I always recommend the hydrangea. It breaks up all types of stones in the body. Like if a person has spurs in their heels, that's a sign that you could have kidney stones too. Okay, and so hydrangea breaks that up. Lobelia kava kava to relax the urinary passages and ease the pain. Marshmallow and corn silk can be used to soothe membranes while the stone passes. But if you stay on that, there's a bottle. The bottle of hydrangea comes like 100 capsules. I have people taking 4 capsules twice a day, and they got to take the whole bottle. And they're drinking their water. And pretty much, they don't have the issues of hurting when they're passing the stones. So that's a great remedy there. That hydrangea is very powerful, and it's an astringent. So every probably 3 to 4 months, you should take a bottle of that just to clean up the kidneys, just to make sure that there's no, stones and things like that. The remedies for prostatitis and BPH would be the nettle root, the pygeum bark, saw palmetto, white sage. There's a men's formula for this. And the S equal is called Equilibrium. Helps people with an enlarged prostate, which could cause, all this can cause an enlarged prostate. So these are all things that help balance all of that, okay, the inflammation. Chinese indications for kidney qi deficiency include arthritis, osteoporosis, lower back pain, weakness in the lower extremities, and premature gray hair. When the hair starts turning gray, that's a lack of minerals. So we definitely are lacking minerals. And these can be early warning signs that kidney support is needed. Right? So we need to, every system needs help. We have to supplement. You know why? Because the foods that we eat doesn't have everything that we need in it, because we don't grow our own food. We depend on grocery stores. And so they grow it. They have to go, it grows somewhere. It's picked very early before it becomes medicinal, right? And then it gets to the store, it goes to a warehouse, and then it's distributed to all the stores. So it doesn't have the full potential of healing properties unless you're growing your own. So it's very important in this day and age, in this time we're living in, that we must supplement. We must get our nutrients and things through herbs. Herbs, they're foods. Herbs are foods. They come from plants, right? But they come in a strong, concentrated way so that you're getting those nutrients to actually strengthen those systems. That's what's important. Okay. Kidney renal failure. Progressive kidney failure may not produce any symptoms in the initial stage. Some symptoms can include weakness, lethargy, edema, anemia, fatigue, loss of appetite, and shortness of breath. That's kind of some signs right there of congestive heart failure. That's some signs of that. But it could be other things too. The body becomes increasingly acidic, which can lead to congestive heart failure, arrhythmia, tachycardia, and fibrillation. So when it gets to this point, medically treated with dialysis or a kidney transplant. But I'm going to say this: not everybody gets to this not to this before they go to this right here. It doesn't go that far to get. I don't believe that. Not to the extreme where we are right now. So again, please pay attention, because these are preventative things that you can do. But you see, we live in a society where we want a quick fix, and there's no quick fix. If you want to eat in a microwave, if you want to pop food in a microwave, then there's a cost to pay. There's a price to pay for that. Why? What is that price? One, it's radiated food, so the body no longer recognizes it as anything except a foreign object coming in. The liver goes into distress when you even heat up your food, because it zaps everything from that. So now it changes the whole molecular composition of the food. So now it's a foreign substance, and the liver is going in, wait a minute, we got to filter this, we got to figure this out, right? So it's radiation and electromagnetic. And when you eat the foods that are, if you read some packages for microwave, you'll see on some of those packages it says for microwave only. Now that's a situation right there. That's a problem. We need to be reading labels. We need to have an understanding of what we're eating. Can't just depend because it looks good on the package and we don't have to know what we're doing. We just throw it in the microwave and eat it and it tastes good. I don't want to get into all of that, but these are things that are causing problems in the brain. All kinds of issues. So right now we're talking about the kidneys, but we have to eat fresh fruits and vegetables. Very, very important. Right? Celery, parsley, and other potassium-rich greens. Eliminating the soda, especially if you have issues. You got to if you're seeing bubbles in your urine, you got to let all that acid stuff go. You got to start alkalizing your body. Okay, that's very, very important, because the kidneys are not able to filter out some things when you start seeing that, okay? Reduce some consumption of that animal protein. I encourage my clients to eat the fish that is beneficial for that blood type. Why? Because we need the essential fatty acids. We need that. We need fat for the brain, for the body, for all the cells. So I know that there's issues with the fish and all of that, but if you go, you can get some good quality fish for sure. You don't want anything farm raised. You want things that are wild caught. That's important. That's very important. Okay, we want to avoid food additives and chemicals. If you go in the store and you're going down the aisles, main aisles, the middle of the store and the aisles, every packaged food has additives and chemicals. Got to go on the outer perimeters and get fresh things, and if you really want to live long and you want to be healthy, some people can live a long life, but are you living a quality? Is it a quality over the quantity, right? I don't want to be 95 sitting in a rocking chair somewhere and don't even know where I am. I want to be doing just what I'm doing here right now. When God says that your time is up, I still want to be able to talk about what I'm talking about right now. So I have to do everything I can for my nerves, for my brain health, right? The whole nervous system. I have to work on all the systems, the kidneys, the heart, the digestive, all my channels of elimination. I have to work on everything. And it's a job. We have 12 months in the year. So I tell people every time the seasons change, it's very important first to do a good cleanse. To cleanse from whatever the season is, the food that we ate. cleanse that and get ready for a new season, right? And that helps to clean out the gut. Then start taking some things, just like maybe 1 month, support the cardiovascular system. Unless you have issues, then you stay on it. But if you don't have those issues, you still want to fortify and strengthen the heart, strengthen the arteries and all of that. So you take something for that. Then the next month you work on another system. We do like that. When I do the scans, I go with the most important thing that I see out of balance. We work on those things 90 days, but I'm encouraging to work on, and most times I'm working on many systems at one time when I do a combination of things. So um, herbs are fabulous for that. They work on many things. They don't just work on one thing. So understand that as well. And here's some herbal kidney support: goldenrod, nettle leaf, nettle seed leaf, and root. Parsley, morinda, again, that's from the noni juice. Dandelion leaf, euphomia, Chinese water increasing formula, that would be the HYC in Nature Sunshine. That is a Chinese increasing formula. Helps your skin if you have dry skin and all that as well. Specific aids for renal failure. You got to go down to a low protein diet and get that protein pretty much from fruits and vegetables. You got to drink that water, right? And people tell you the opposite about the water. And that's another subject I would talk one-on-one about that. Use nettle seed or a blend of the seed, leaf, and root. Apply charcoal poultice over the kidneys. Take sweat baths to reduce the loads of the kidneys. I encourage sweat baths. You can look it up on YouTube. You can look up the different things that you can use mixed together for that. You can use even essential oils, those kind of things to create a sweat bath. It's very, very, very effective. It opens those pores and it will help. Your skin is your third kidney. So when you sweat, you're taking the load off of the kidneys themselves. So that's very, very important. So I would love to open up for questions. I don't know who's on. I can't see anybody, so I don't know. But my number is 240-695-6677. And I would love for you all to call in while we're doing this show. People would be able to hear you to ask some questions. So as we go, I'm learning this. I'm very new at this. So I'm just not quite that comfortable yet. I can't, because I can't see who's watching and what's what. I'm used to my I'm used to my Zoom calls that I do. So, but it's all coming together. It's all great. This information is very needed, and I hope that you learned something tonight, and that you would take some things. If not, just drink more water, change some things in your diet, and you will see great results. Because remember that good health is your choice. And it's not growing old that makes us sick. It's getting sick that makes us old. So I want to leave you with that tonight. And I pray that you take this information. And if you have questions for me, please call my office. Again, that's 240-695-6677. You can look at my website, drbhealingcorner.com. A lot of information on there. You can share that out to your friends. They can actually go on the website and click on every Friday night onto the show. The radio show is on there as well. And also my Zoom information is on there as well for the Wednesdays that we're on. We will be on next Wednesday on our Zoom call. And I have one of my team is going to be giving a presentation. So I look forward to that. And if you all want some information, please send me your email at that same phone number, 240-695-6677. And I will get that out, and you will get the information to get on our Zoom. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. I'm not really out of words, but I've given you a lot of information to think about and to digest. So I hope this has been helpful to you. Please give me some feedback. And if you go on my website, you can actually give me a review and give some feedback on there as well. I want to just say God bless you tonight. I pray that all of you within the sound of my voice, I speak healing over you tonight. Whatever you're going through, whatever it is, ask God to show you with these emotions and cry out and say, I want to be healed. I want to know, what do I need to do? What are the steps I need to do? We can't just cry out and say, help me. We have to be willing when the help comes to do the work. We have to be willing to do that, because we can just think about it all day, talk about it, but we got to be about it. So that's my mission to the world, really, to teach that we can change where we are in whatever situation we're in. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next Friday. And I try to have that posted on what we will be talking about. Thank you so much. You all have a wonderful night. God bless you.